Welcome to Longplays. This is a relaxed, informal series where I talk about a game that I really enjoyed from my past while playing it for an hour, and you just sit back and listen. I am playing TIE Fighter today, and this will be an experience. I'm going to set the timer for an hour, and I am going to play it for an hour and just run you through why I think this is a neat game. Seems pretty self-explanatory, really, but the style of presentation will be a little different and a little more off the cuff than my review series, and less what on earth is going on than my other series. So this is one of the downsides of TIE Fighter. We're playing with the Collector's Edition, with all the bells and whistles. You have to calibrate a joystick at the start of the game, and TIE Fighter is the sort of game that does need a joystick. You can get by with, a control pad if you really have to, a gamepad if you want to, map all the buttons yourself and so on, but really a joystick is the best way to experience it. So we'll just calibrate this. And we're presented with this screen. And you have to enter a name. And this means that multiple people can play on the same machine, which is nice. And if you don't enter a name, nope, we're not allowed past. So I've pre-made a character called Lonnie. Hawk is the one I completed the game with before. There's Lonnie. Good old Lonnie is a flight cadet. Their level is set to easy. They don't have a clue what they're doing, and we're just going to enter in, haplessly stumble in, and before we even start the campaign, what you need to do is go to this little room here called the combat chamber. And you'll note that the music changes quite nicely. Seamlessly, in fact, because it's the iMuse sound system, and it's running through a nice sound font that I've got. So beautiful music, and let's just get to the briefing, shall we?
In this mission, you will learn the basic.
This is voice actor Guy Sinaire. He is the man who does almost all the mission goals and briefings and so on. And everything is voiced. Absolutely everything. So we can literally skip that
continue at your option to one-on-one dogfight.
And go to like questions and stuff. Like, what am I meant to do here, sir? What craft will I be flying?
There will be no opposition at
what opposition? And so on.
Fighting portion of the mission, the Z95.
So we'll enter the mission.
Don't touch anything until told to.
And that's the first thing we're told. Don't touch anything.
Hit the T key to target the container.
So we'll target the container in front of us with T.
Target 1 will turn yellow to indicate it is the current target.
And this will quite happily explain everything to us.
Your targeting box will turn green to indicate a good shot.
I think we'll take the shot. What do you think? Let's do that.
It should take 8 hits.
There we are. 8 hits, done and dusted, destroyed, and it'll blow up in a lovely little VGA explosion of the garage shading. There's no texture mapping in this game, everything is flat, coloured surfaces. So, we'll T to target the next one,
Turn to forward view by pressing the 8 key.
and we'll hit 9,
Steer your
and
mouse
look,
to the right toward
it's
the
over
bracketed
there,
target.
in our right forward view.
Align the target in your sights and the targeting box will turn green.
It's a lot to take in initially,
Now
but
destroy target 2.
I don't use these view screens, We'll just go to the front, we'll turn using the joystick, and we'll give it what for. There we are. Destroyed. And what's nice is that over the intercom it'll tell you, oh yeah, good shot, well done. So let's take out another one, shall we?
Charge rate to maintain a full charge by pressing the F9 key.
Now you'll note, Mr. Sinaire has told us, F9. That changes the intermix rate. So you can recharge your weapons, but it comes at the cost of energy. Energy is used for the engines to move your craft forward at a certain speed. So if you redirect to engines at maximum rate, you can now go faster. If you redirect to lasers, that'll recharge your lasers faster. If you have no laser recharge, you'll see in the middle, our lasers are slowly declining, dwindling away to nothing. So we'll set it to full for now, and blow these up. It's very simple stuff. We don't have to fly around or do anything crazy. We'll just move, duck and weave, destroy some stuff. There we are. Nice, simple container destroying. Right, now that they're dealt with, we forgot number 7. And boom goes number 7. Simple stuff, right? On to the next one. So it gives you enough targets, and then it praises you and says, yes, you've done it. Yep, you can do it. Now, I don't go to 2/3 throttle. I never do. I hit the backspace key to set engine throttle to full power. We will target. And you'll note, we targeted the platform. We do not want to attack the platform. You'll notice by the moving debris in space that we're moving, hit R, and the game tells us that, which is nice. So, mover 1, where are you? You'll see in the top left hand corner, that's where your opponent is in your forward view, and the top right hand corner is where your opponent is, where it is behind you. Does that make sense? Should make sense. Pretty simple stuff, like I've said before. Now you'll note we're not moving towards it at any great clip. That's because we moved everything to lasers. That was actually a far better shot than I thought it was going to be there. So we'll take out mover 2, I think. And then we'll call it a day for now, because this is just a bonus goal. Okay. So that'll show you your mission goals and possible potential bonus goals, and it's fun, it's entertaining. So you get a debriefing as to what happened, what you did.
You have shown you are capable of engaging enemy craft in
Look at that. We can attack craft. Isn't that great? We can move on to the next mission if we want. So we patrol an area around an Imperial base, learn how to use memory presets, targeting systems, take out disabled spacecraft. What I'm trying to say basically is that there is an entire campaign, an entire tutorial campaign that most games would use as their first campaign, hidden away in this little flight simulator bit of the system, which is madness, you know, absolute madness. And the thing is, there's one for each craft, 4 missions for each craft, and there's a number of craft. I'll not show all of them, but each of them has a mini campaign that you do before you move forward in the main campaign. So we head over to this little lever here, and we'll get rid of that sim. This door takes us back to the registration. This is a training simulator. It's designed to show us our flight capabilities and stuff. It's a fun little mini game. We can start a new campaign or continue from up top there. The tech room is for specifications of craft and stuff. And the film room lets you view your replays of missions. You can save flight recording data and then view it in the film room to see where you went wrong. Yes, really, in a game from 1994. So we'll have a quick look at the training simulator. It's, like I said, it's a little mini game. You can hear the beautiful, beautiful IMUs just immediately responding and then switching into this wonderful theme. Listen to that. Like, the soundtrack of TIE Fighter is just to die for. It's got this beautiful kind of imperial, you know, carry-on to it. And everything feels right and proper, you know? Okay, we'll fly the obstacle course. And I'll just give you a wee talk through of it. So, we're in a tunnel here. And we just fly along the tunnel. Seems pretty simple, right? Pretty easy stuff. Till we get here. There are objects you can destroy in order to increase your score. And also improve the time. So the more stuff you destroy, the more time you have. Obviously I'm not going to destroy everything. I'll just do a quick, you know, run through. As you can see, my shooting is very, very rusty. Exceedingly rusty, in fact. It's quite embarrassing, to be fair, but like I said, this is a nice, relaxed playthrough of TIE Fighter, you know. So, you can see at the bottom, there's segments left, segments done. And that's it, you know. And you'll think, but it's just triangles, that's not very interesting. And you'd be right if it was just triangles, but it's not. We get to this blue bit, and then it boosts our score with the time that we had left. We now have 4 minutes, and we'll just fly through here, and I'll show you how it's changed. Aha! So now we've got these boys, and you'll think, great, more score. Tremendous. I'll just be able to fly through this indefinitely because I'll keep my score up forever. The problem is that these guys start to get in the way, and there's an increasing number of them that will cause problems for you, and you'll see that later on. Oh, some embarrassing shots here. Look at this. I'll just claim my joystick wasn't properly calibrated, you know. So, I'll show you one more lap, I think. Let's just change our intermix ratio and redirect all the power from the cannons to the engines. So we'll go as fast as possible through this. And that is an option. You know, if you're really skilled, you can just fly through and not shoot anything. I mean, there's only so long you'll last though, because eventually you'll run out of time. Or you'll reach a point where you find that you cannot physically navigate through. As you can see, there's some sort of fan object there. And that's the gist of it. And this will get increasingly difficult with increasingly more shapes to navigate through until you run out of time. And really it's just a case of picking the craft and besting your time with that specific craft. And it works as a beautiful sort of practice for how the game handles. I actually think that the cycle speed that the game is set at currently is a little slow. The problem with TIE Fighter is that you're still using 3D technology from 1994. And a lot of the game mechanics are tied to the CPU core. And one of the biggest ones that they took issue with later CPU speeds and stuff, was that stations wouldn't fire if the CPU was too fast. Which, as you can imagine, is a bit of a problem. So when emulating this, you're going to have slight slowdown in places. You know, you're not going to get silky smooth 60 frames a second. It's not the end of the world. There's also some screen tearing here I'm noticing. So, there's a few issues, a few bugs to work out, a few kinks to work out. Probably should have fixed that before recording, but oh well. So, we will leave this now by hitting Q and space, not escape. Escape brings the in-flight engine, where you can choose various things. And you've got some nice triumphant music, which is basically saying, yeah, you tried your best, you did alright. So, where to now? New battle. The aftermath of Hoth. Pursue rebels fleeing from Hoth. Seems reasonable. And this is the thing with TIE Fighter. You are not the bad guy, you know? You're seen as this sort of absolute nobody, flying a TIE Fighter, just doing their job. And you'll see now just how many battles there are. 3, 4, 5. Aha! See what happened there? There are 4 battles you can choose from at the beginning. But trust me, once you complete those 4, it unlocks a lot more. And I'm actually going to show you that now, because I feel like it. Let's see, has Hawk completed everything? I think so. So, you can choose up to 13 battles. Yes, I'm aware there's spoilers there. I'm just quitting away from them, just to show you. 13 different battles. Usually with 6, 7, 8 missions each. So you can do the math when you include the training missions from the combat chamber, which are 4 each with about 7 or 8 craft. Back to Lonnie. We've had enough of Hawk. Lonnie is not Hawk. He doesn't have a clue what he's doing. He's just going to join the battle and help the Empire. And this is a screen that you'll be seeing a lot of when you're doing the campaign. You have a board, which you can view, which will tell you all about your mission. You've got your good old flight officer voiced by Guy Sinair, and you've got this here. This will open up later, and you'll get somebody else there. So we got the option to return to concourse and then enter the mission. But before we enter the mission, it'd be a good idea to get briefed, wouldn't it? So let's sit through a briefing.
1 TIE fighter from Alpha, Beta and Gamma squadrons will be out on patrol around outpost D34.
Pretty simple stuff.
Your mission is to inspect all cargo-carrying vessels as they pass by our station.
Okay. Not difficult.
We are on the lookout for rebel forces that are fleeing from their base on Hoth.
Okay. And that's pretty much our debriefing. Or our briefing, rather. Debriefing's after. So, simple. That's what you like to see in a game. You've had your basic sort of, this is how you work a TIE Fighter. Now you're put into a very simple mission. So we'll talk to our flight officer, voiced by Mr. Guy Sinair. I just call him Guy Sinair all the time. I really shouldn't. I don't think he has a name, so I just call him Guy Sinair.
You are to inspect all cargo-carrying vessels that pass through this area. To accomplish this, target each freighter and transport, then fly close enough for your ship's sensors to determine what cargo the vessel has on board. Check your progress on the mission goals screen, toggled by hitting the G key.
So he knows that you're a complete noob. He knows that you're nobody. And unfortunately, he's not animated. He'll just sort of stand there See, trust him to blink at me when I said he wasn't animated. His mouth isn't animated. His eyes are. So, you can ask what craft you'll be flying, what position there'll be, and so on. So, you can get a full rundown of what you're flying, what you should be on the lookout for, and so on. It gives you a full and solid briefing. So there's at no point you can be like, oh, what am I meant to be doing here, you know? Let's go in. Now you'll note we're flying directly towards the station. Let's just avoid that.
They're entering the area near Void B18.
So, said incoming ships. There they are.
Fighter Alpha 1, inspect all craft. Freighters
Let's
requesting
inspect
permission to
craft.
pass through this sector.
So we'll turn our energy up to full,
Requesting permission to pass through this sector.
and as you can hear, everything is voiced beautifully. So we'll just cut to the chase, and to inspect the craft, you fly right up to it, and you don't even need to scan it. You just fly close to it. It's not like free space. There's no scanning. So we'll get this freighter scanned. There we are. And freighter 2. Let's get you scanned. Freighter 3 is over there. That's all very sort of pedestrian. Oh! Did you see that? Freighter 3 has rebels on it. They'll not like that, will they?
Illegal cargo located on one of the freighters.
There you go. But that's not your problem. You're doing your job, so we'll not worry about that.
Imperial
So
transports
we
are
will
being
get to
dispatched.
Freighter 5. And we'll just diligently carry out our action here without running into anything. So, transport data 1. Let's catch up to that. We're going at 125, so we should be able to catch up to the transports before they get past the station and go into hyperspace, you know? And, uh-oh,
The incoming
the
shuttles
music
have
has
not
changed.
identified themselves.
Interesting. So, 3 shuttles coming in. Let's get these
TIE
transports
fighters, beware
scanned.
of enemy shuttles.
There we are.
Primary mission complete.
Shuttle Row 1.
First wave of freighters and transports has been inspected. Good work. Help with the capture operation or return to base. Job well done, Alpha 1.
So there you go.
Help the transports
So-
weaken the freighter's shields.
Praising us. What we're going to do is we have the option to weaken the shields, or we can help with dealing with the shuttles. I'm going to help taking out the shuttles. And you work as a team, obviously. You know, you've got your flight leader, and you've got other TIE fighters around, and various other craft helping out. Let's see, row 3. You can probably tell how much I'm getting into this now, you know. That's weakened him a bit. Let's come around for another pass. There we go. Right. We'll just have a brief look through the area. Anything else that hasn't been scanned? Not really. Looks like we've just got some shuttles to hold off. So we'll do that. If we hit the goals screen, we can actually see, hey, our primary goals are complete. If you want to head back to the station and be like, yep, I'm done here, then that's fine, you can. But by completing secondary and bonus goals, you actually unlock more stuff in the game. So if you feel confident enough to stick around and not be blown to pieces by shuttles, then it's worth playing on for the secondary and hidden bonus goals. Some of the bonus goals are ridiculous. Hitting escape gives you your flight options, and you'll see down here the 2 important ones for this playthrough. We're invulnerable, our ammunition's unlimited. That means your missiles, not your lasers. You can run out of lasers, and various graphic options and settings and so on. So, let's take out some more shuttles, shall we? Come to us. You'll see there's a TIE fighter already engaging. Let's head on. Very brave, or very foolish, not sure which. Hit R, and we shall target the nearest shuttle. And we'll give them a bit of grief. And I'm going to fly like collisions are on. And I'm just going to... Excellent, the freighter's been disabled. And we'll just continue with our little dogfight here. And take out the shuttles. Okay. I don't think there's any more operations. You'll see the freighter there that's been disabled. Its systems are down to 0%. That means it won't move at all. And its shield is also down. In order to get to the systems, you have to knock out the shields, which is what our transport has done. The game suggested to us. It was like, hey, you can help with this if you want. We chose not to, and that's fine. Sigma 1, which we're now looking at, we'll lower our speed so we can take a quick flyby of that, is now going to dock with the freighter. We'll cut our engines. We can watch as the stormtroopers make their merry way onto the freighter, and you can only imagine what they'll be doing. Doesn't need much of an imagination, tell you. In 1994, Star Wars was seen as this like wonderful sort of thing. You know, the name hadn't been sullied. It was still sort of considered a genuinely brilliant piece of science fiction, because it was, I guess. And LucasArts around this time just couldn't make a bad game. There we go.
Good work. The second wave of freighters was inspected. More importantly, we have captured the rebel freighter.
Now, that voice is not Guy Sinair, you'll have noted. That is somebody else entirely. Which leads to the intrigue. Who is that? And why were they talking to us directly?
Protect the captured freighter.
Well, we've got orders, boss. So let's protect it. We'll match speed with target. And that was our secondary goal. I think the bonus goal now, if we choose to accept it, will be to protect the freighter. And we can see now from, you know, our work with the shuttles that there's nothing to protect it from. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Q in space. And because the primary and secondary mission goals are complete, the primary mission was a success. And we'll get some nice triumphant music, and we can have Mr. Sinair give us a rundown.
Discovered a freighter full of rebels trying to escape from their base on Hoth. Excellent work. As we expected, fleeing rebels are trying to sneak through this sector. We captured a freighter full of rebels trying to escape from the planet Hoth. Hoth, a nearby ice planet, was the main base of the rebels. The recent Imperial attack on this base has driven their forces into flight. The interrogation of these rebel prisoners should help us track more of them down.
So there you go. The music quietens down, he gives us the debriefing, and tells us about our main and secondary accomplishments. The bonus goals aren't something that have to be completed. You know, it's just, if you happen to do an exceptional job, then great, you know. Some of them are really, really tough. And obviously you'd have to look them up beforehand to do them. Some of them. Okay. So it gives you your information about ships destroyed. Oh, 6 with 4 assists. And we captured a freighter. That's enough for now. And then this is the screen you get whether you win or lose. It's just the briefing officer telling you what's happened there. Now, you'll notice there's a shadowy figure in the corner. We will address that shortly. Let's do our next mission, shall we?
Fighters from Alpha, Beta, and Gamma squadrons
So, we're patrolling the station.
Your weapon arming crew has added concussion missiles.
Oh, we've got missiles now. Nice.
All TIE fighters will destroy any incoming enemy ships.
So, destroy the
before they can
ships
destroy
before
us.
they get to the
Assume
station.
Any trouble will come from the direction of Boy 18.
The nav
where we
boys
stopped the
sort of
smuggled rebel
point
cargo.
out directions that things can come from. Or you can go to, I guess,
Our
in
forces
later
must
games.
survive until the Imperial-class Star Destroyer Hammer arrives.
Pretty
to
simple
release
stuff, right? And it's somewhat ironic that a Star Wars mission is called Red Alert. Red Alert being the Star Trek thing. Anyway, we can talk to Guy Sinair about the mission objectives, but we already know. You know? And you can hear the music jumping back and forth seamlessly between. So we'll talk to this guy. How may I serve the Emperor?
I am a special envoy of the Emperor. In this time of crisis, political intrigue and open rebellion, the Emperor requires special means of communication with his loyal forces. In the battles ahead, I will ensure that his wishes reach those like yourself who have pledged their fealty to him. You will have many opportunities to serve the Emperor and will be rewarded for your efforts. In the mission ahead, locate the rebel officers who are fleeing from Hoth in a stolen Imperial shuttle. We have forces standing by who will attempt to disable and capture this shuttle once you have located it.
And that's our secondary goal. And this is the beauty of TIE Fighter. Because initially, what you're doing here is the main bit. You're just doing simple Imperial stuff, and this shadowy fella will come in and occasionally sort of offer secondary objectives and so on. But through discussing with them what's going on, you are painted a picture of political intrigue, of warring factions, of double crosses, of all kinds of stuff, and some of it happens in-game as well. So we'll enter this mission, and we shall choose our loadout. This is the loadout screen. You can choose what loadout you want. We do not want heavy bombs or heavy rockets. They're for large capital ships. You can see the payload and how quickly the things come out of your ship. So, and the homing length, obviously. So we'll launch, and pretty similar to the last mission, really, except we're not flying into the station, which is nice. So hit R, a Y-wing, unknown craft, and this is where I'm going to cheat. I hit W to switch my weapons, and I'll set the dual fire, right? So I'm firing 2 missiles at once. You'll see in the middle of the screen, hey, this craft only has 4 missiles. But because I've set missiles to unlimited, I can just wait till it goes red and hit it. And just use it like lasers. But you'll see that he's able to shoot my missiles out of the sky. So I have to sneak behind him and take him out. Now, Y-wings are the equivalent of TIE bombers. They have missiles of their own, and we do not want them to get near the station. So we shall disrupt that now. Goodbye. So obviously I could continue cheating with weapons, but you've seen concussion missiles. So I'm going to increase the intermix. Don't have a deflector shield system, so I don't know why I was doing that. Go to Y-wing gold, and we'll use our lasers. Assuming that our capable teammates don't get there first, which they have. Oh, wrong weapon. Yeah, that seriously depleted laser is certainly doing the business. Yeah, that's the end of that one. And you'll get updates. So a missile got through there, and a torpedo there, yeah. D34 is the station. You can tell what they're aimed at. So 96% shield. But that torpedo is on its way. I wonder if I can lock onto that. I'm probably not moving quickly enough to intercept, unfortunately. Oh, look at that. The torpedo didn't get a lock on the station. It tried to home for a bit, and then it blew up because it couldn't get a lock. So that's not our problem. So let's recharge our lasers, switch to laser cannons, swing back out. We don't want to hit space. That would forfeit the mission. So we look at our goals. We have to wait for the hammer to arrive, have to make sure the platform survives, and we're looking for a shuttle called Scuts. What, Scuts? I think Scuts. We'll go with Scuts. Shuttle Scuts. So this is potentially a problem for some of you, I guess, in that TIE Fighter is timed. You'll see the clock in the bottom right hand corner. Missions are timed. So if you absolutely destroy the Y-Wings and there's nothing left to do, you're just left floating in space until the next mission action is triggered by timing. So the game will say, it's probably thinking to itself, 5 minutes. It'll take them 5 minutes between patrolling the station to destroying the Y-Wings. But because I'd set my missiles to unlimited, the game to easy, the playtesters didn't really account for you being that lackadaisical with it, and they're sort of like, well, the timings haven't changed, so you're gonna have to wait. But fortunately, with the iMuse engine, we have time. We can just sit and quietly patrol our system and wait. And wait we shall. And I can talk more about TIE Fighter while quietly flying than I probably could. It was made by a company called Totally Games, who were helmed by Lawrence Holland. And it was a collaborative effort between Totally Games and Lucasarts with the Star Wars branding. And a shuttle. Never mind that talk. We have to inspect this shuttle. So, full speed ahead, forget about the lasers, and the goal here is it has to be inspected. So we're out of position a little bit here. Now, if we want to know the shuttle's intentions, we'll hit Z. It's currently flying its flight path, following its flight plan. Time to destination is 3 minutes, so we have to get over there before it reaches all of its waypoints. Because after it's reached all its waypoints, I don't know how many it has, because obviously it's the enemy, we don't know, we have to get this inspected. So we'll do that. Let's see, 3 minutes, and we're closing in. Yeah, plenty of time. We'll even slow down a bit, I think. Restore some of our lasers. Alright, Scuts, let's get you investigated. Let's just do a quick fly past. There we are.
Alpha 1, secondary objectives completed. Good work. You've discovered a shuttle carrying rebel officers.
So, that's all we need to do.
Dispatch to disable and capture it.
We don't have to worry about this because, as you can see, Gun Mu 1 is coming to do the job for us. So if we match speed with the shuttle, let's get that in view, we can watch as the gunboats launch missiles, and then that's it. They shoot their ion cannons, and the poor old shuttle's done for. Or it should be anyway. There's the ion trail. Boom, boom, boom. Disabled. So that's dealt with. Again, because we are small fry, and because this is the beginning, we're only given certain things to do. You know? They don't expect us to move heaven and earth in a TIE Fighter. And who would, at the end of the day? We've got some Y-Wings coming in, but fortunately, we've also got some assault gunboats on our side, thanks to the secondary mission objectives. So, we've got more craft than we were expected to have, thanks to doing the Emperor's will and completing secondary objectives. We just need to zoom in on this guy. Because of the intermix ratio, we're not that close, but we're more than enough for him. And that's a beautiful musical sound. That do-do-do-do because it means we're heading back to the sweet, uninterrupted bliss. Now, there should be a transport ship. There it is. Epsilon 1 and Epsilon 2. I don't know why there's two of them. Maybe there's a reason for that, I don't know. But there's the hammer. So, you've got a choice now. You could say, well, primary objectives are done. We've had enough, you know. Or, alternatively, we can wait it out. And we can say, hey, hold on. Our job's not done here. And the game recognises that. Because it provides you with more opposition. These are Corellian corvettes. They are not to be trifled with. And you can join in the fight. So, in response to that, the hammer has launched some bombers, I think. I'm just gonna soften up their shields with a few proton concussion missiles. So it's basically said, what are you doing still out there, you know? Why are you still here? And our gunboats are coming in to help. And we'll make short work of these boys, I think. Obviously there's a little bit of slowdown here. And with the lasers coming in, our missiles aren't up to much. So we will switch. Accidentally flew through one of them there. That would have cost me the entire game there had I not had invulnerability on. So we'll just clear these out. There we are. Clear out these nasty rebel scum, and you'll see, while being distracted by that, the bonus objectives have been completed. And that's it. That's the thing with TIE Fighter. You know, it almost accounts for everything. Almost. So it's entering hyperspace in 2 minutes? I think we can wait 2 minutes. So you have your primary goals, which is what is expected of you as an officer or cadet or whatever you are, you know, as a pilot. You have your secondary goals, which are the secretive wishes of the Emperor. And then you have your bonus goals, which is the game hiding goals from you and saying, is this madman really going to do this? And in one of the missions, it was a particularly memorable one for me, was that you're vastly outgunned and vastly outnumbered, and the game actually makes a secret bonus goal of you charging down one of the big ships and actually landing a hit. Like being so angry and so outraged at developments, I don't want to spoil anything, that you turn around your frail craft and you're like, no, I'm going to attack you, rather than fleeing, which is what the mission expects you to do. And it's such careful crafting of the missions that allows for some real fun scenarios, because you get to choose how long you want to stay out there. And if you're vulnerable, then you know, you run a real risk, because a TIE fighter is unshielded. It can only take two or three shots and it's done, you know. I would not have completed this mission had I not had invulnerability on, because I wasn't really paying that much attention. There it goes off into hyperspace, and we'll quit there. So there you go, bonus goals completed. So that was another bonus goal that we got there without even realizing. We captured the shuttle, but we also got rid of the Corvette group. We stuck around and we helped. So, tell us, officer, what did we accomplish?
We have defeated an attack by the rebels and Mugari.
The Mugari?
We have saved our outpost from destruction and destroyed many of the attacking enemy ships.
I wonder if we'll hear more about the Magari in future. Spoiler alert, the answer is yes. What about you, cloaked figure? And look at the changing music. Oh, isn't that glorious? I mean, you could just listen to that all day long. Or at least I could anyway, because I'm a nerd. Tell us what we accomplished.
Officers you have located will prove useful to our cause. From them we will
So there you go. So let's move on to the third and I think final mission for tonight.
Traced the Mugari pirates' hyperjump path.
There we go.
To a cargo loading area in the Tungra sector.
Okay.
Your first objective is to
Stop the cargo ferries.
from escaping with their
We can do
contraband.
that.
Then stop the transports and shuttles.
Destroy anything.
that might be carrying weapons. 2 TIE interceptors will be launched to engage the Y-wings. The TIE bombers will assist if needed.
There you go. So we've got our team and we're to fly in and basically wreck stuff. And we'll be piloting a TIE bomber. So before you even start the third mission...
Escape. Be ready for any enemy reinforcements.
Yeah. And you'll note there's no secondary goals here. But before you even start the third mission, you have a series of 4 missions where you find out how to operate a TIE bomber. Because a TIE bomber is slower, it's more cumbersome, and yeah, you'll see in a minute. We'll do this quickly because I'm probably running out of time, to be honest. I guess you could call it a TIE bomber. Look at that nice little animation. Off we go to cause havoc. So let's quickly go and destroy everything, shall we?
Enemy targets dead ahead.
And we'll hear some wingman chatter. So the goal is cargo ferries, transports and shuttles. So
Torpedoes and fire at will.
switch to proton torpedoes, set to dual fire. Not worry about lasers at all this mission because the TIE bomber is 12 photon torpedoes. Proton torpedoes? Photon torpedoes are Star Trek, James. And because we have like unlimited ammo, because this is just us showing you the game rather than, you know, trying to play it by the rules, we can just fire at will and destroy all these. And you'll also note that the HUD is different. The actual cockpit. I think you can turn that off, but I can't remember the button. There it is, with a button if you really don't like it. But
The attack on the Mugari pirates has begun.
you also sort of lose information, so I don't like that. I like a bit of immersion, me, you know. And we'll fly away from there. Let's take out a second shuttle. Oh, that first shuttle did not get taken out.
Target destroyed.
Yes, it did. Just not by me. Another tactic I can use is I fly real close and then just
Destroyed.
unload. But that's very, very dodgy if you...
Target destroyed.
You know.
The forces have taken 50% losses.
If you... what's the word I was trying to use there? Remember words, James? Now, if you're not invulnerable and you're coming up real close, then it's dangerous because the collision could just finish you off. And we don't want that. These cargo ferries, on the other hand, will not fare so well. So yes, we'll just systematically eliminate all these rebel scum. The Y-wings aren't going to be much against our forces, I don't think. Just take this transport out. And one more transport. You don't have to wait for things to be red, as you see, but it's more accurate if you do. See, that collision would have killed us. I was being lazy there. Imagine having a transport full of warheads and seeing a warhead approach. Like that. Oh. There we go. And that's it done.
Good work. We have destroyed all the cargo carrying craft. Well done.
And that's all the forces gone.
Completely destroyed.
So, that's it. Primary goals complete. Pretty simple stuff. So the one thing
timing of our attack
I'll let
was
Geisen
perfect.
speak.
We attacked when both parties to the weapons deal were still in the area. Our attack completely destroyed all of the Mugari and rebel.
Yeah. So, I am going to briefly exit out of this and show you the other features, just quickly. So we've seen the training simulator, we've seen the combat chamber, and the tech room just tells us information about the craft. Nothing too crazy. Don't want to go through all of them because spoilers, you know. I know, spoilers for a game from 1994. Film room. You can actually look and see your recordings. Obviously we don't have any recordings, so we'll just exit out of that. Now this game I bought in the mid-90s. I was on a trip to one of the big towns, a city even, and it was with my grandparents, and they were kind enough to just be like, you want this? I saw Star Wars, it looked good. Let's see what this one is.
D-34 has been captured.
Oh
The
no.
rebels and the Mugari are looting it for arms and
Well, we
equipment.
can't have that, can we? After all
The
that,
frigate Fogger will launch a transport to recapture
we need to
the station.
recapture the
Several
station.
flight groups of TIE starfighters will provide
And you'll
cover
note
for this
in
operation.
this, we're at a TIE interceptor. So even though this is the fourth,
These groups will also hunt down the
One
renegade
moment, Guy.
craft that are making off with the station's equipment.
even though this is the fourth mission, we will have had 4 TIE fighter missions training, 4 TIE bomber missions training, and 4 TIE interceptors training. So this is really the 16th mission, and that is some pretty nifty content if you ask me. So, search and destroy because they took our station. Seems pretty simple. What do you want, sir?
The Emperor is concerned by the rebels' capture of Outpost D-34. The most disturbing element is that they seem to know exactly how to time their attacks.
Inspect or
when Imperial
capture
forces
any
are
rebel
engaged in another
craft.
sector. Be alert for
I'll show you briefly something that I do. We'll launch our TIE interceptor, which is nice. We can skip that. I immediately hit goals, because the goals will tell you your primary and secondary goals before you even start the mission. We need to have transport Sigma dock, we need to capture the station, the frigate needs to have survived, and we need to inspect transport Gopher.
TIE interceptors
My
laser
goodness, look at
destroy
that.
enemy shuttles and transports. Target
An escort shuttle just immediately there. So, is there transport Gopher there? There it is. Container transport Gopher.
We will help you.
Let's head in there, shall we? Now, as a TIE interceptor, your goal is a bit different. Let's just inspect this briefly, shall we? Here we are. Right.
Mission objectives complete.
Now, our
The rebels' cache of our stolen equipment. Transport Omega will disable and capture this transport.
let's take out some stuff, shall we? Yes, a TIE interceptor is a bit more nimble, and the lasers work slightly differently.
Target destroyed. Target destroyed. TIE interceptors Alpha and Delta. Stop the X-wings and Y-wings.
So yeah, so you can see our goal here is take out the escort shuttles, take out any craft that are in the way of us getting to the station. Those escort shuttles look to be making a run on the Nebulon B frigate, and we cannot allow that. Can we, fellow interceptors? No, we cannot.
Alpha 1. Mission critical craft under attack.
Oh no.
Fogger is taking damage. This is Alpha 2. Target destroyed.
And you'll get constant chatter in the radio about what's going on.
Operation begun.
So something is attacking the Fogger, and we do not want that. Looks like these A-wings have crept in, so we're going to fly past our teammates and try and deal with them with advanced well, with concussion missiles. If we can get to them. But they are nimble little beasts. There we are, that should help.
Alpha 1
Yes.
capture operation complete. Superb work, Alpha 1.
There we
Secret
are.
objectives completed.
Secret objectives? We completed the bonus goals without even trying. Let's see if the X-Wing likes that.
Superb.
No, it didn't. Hey X-Wing, bye X-Wing. And that's it. That is everything dealt with. So Gopher has been captured. So Transport Sigma needs to finish docking, and then that's it. So where's Transport Sigma? There is no sign of Transport Sigma. But the station's been disabled, and there's nobody about. What are you doing? Why are you attacking the station? Well, we do not want that, folks. So I'm gonna head back towards the fogger. Your AI can be a bit silly sometimes, you know. And now we wait. I guess. For the transport ship. Let's match speed with the fogger. Change our weapons so we don't have annoying noises, because we don't want to lock missiles on and fire at our own craft. And this is what I talked about earlier, about you know, having unlimited missiles and completing goals that we shouldn't. I'm not entirely sure why they're firing upon that station. See, I think that might be part of it. I completed the goals too soon. The TIE interceptors are sort of running around now, and they're being like, well, what do we do now? And it's like, yeah, let's just shoot the platform that we're meant to capture. You know? And that's, we don't particularly want that. So the question is Transport Sigma... Oh, right. So my guess is that the Gopher here needs to enter hyperspace. The battle should have taken us 2 or 3 more minutes than it should have. Than it did, rather. And then after the Gopher's gone, Transport Sigma will probably come in and make light work of capturing a completely disabled station. But yeah, you get the idea. Oh, there we go. It's early. Earlier than I thought, anyway. So let's give it a nice little escort. There it is. And now the station's upside down. Oh well. So that will take 24 seconds. Can we afford to wait that long, though? I think we can. I think we can. Unfortunately, our interceptors are still firing on the station. Silly interceptors. But I mean, you're not going to take a station out with a TIE interceptor. Well, the AI isn't anyway. Not before they dock and recover. They'll probably look at the station, you know, after docking and be like, why is all this blaster damage here? Who did this? You know, the interceptor group being like, sorry, we decided to fire on the station for no reason. Imperial scum. They've given up. Stop firing at them. There we go.
Excellent work, Alpha 1. Primary mission objectives completed. We have recaptured outpost D-34 and have driven off the rebels.
So, Gopher has survived 53 seconds. I think we can afford 53 seconds to see it out into hyperspace, can't we? And see if we can get close to it. Probably not. But I don't know if this is a bonus goal or not. And that's the thing, you don't know. You can't tell with bonus goals, you know? Like, perhaps the go for going to hyperspace is a bonus goal. Maybe it isn't. Who can say? So, it was captured. But I don't know if it was a bonus goal. So, let's find out. 17 seconds. We're not going to reach it in time, that's for sure. Watch the distance on this now when it enters hyperspace. Okay? Suddenly we're not reaching it. Oh, there it goes. The distance meter goes off the scale. And goodbye, gopher. And that's it. Time is up. So that was an hour of me talking about TIE Fighter and basically walking you through some of the elements of it. So we'll quit there. Get our plaudits. And the one thing I didn't mention is the cutscenes. There are cutscenes in between certain missions, just advancing the plot and stuff. But this carries on for over 100 missions, I believe. And the intrigue ramps up, and the people you know and the forces that you face and so on become much more intricate and more complex in the way that they deal with each other. There's crosses and double crosses and backstabbing and negotiations, and you go from being a complete nobody here into a one-man death machine that the Empire leans on heavily and asks an awful lot of. And it's quite gratifying because they start treating you a lot better as well. It goes from don't mess this up to we're all counting on you, please help us. Anyway, that's TIE Fighter, the basics. And if you enjoyed this, I might do some more like this in future. It's going to take me forever to export an hour's worth of footage, but yeah, I'll probably do one next week at some point with another game. So yeah, thanks for listening if you made it through all that, and feel free to subscribe if you enjoy content like this.